Are you there?
And I am back. We are standing by.
And she does a terrific job for our firm. And so Patty's role is crucial. She's done a phenomenal job with me. She's extremely loyal. But what I admire most about working with Patty is that she is honest and does what's in the best interest of the client. She does that all the time. We have conversations about it. If we think we made a mistake in our assessment, we'll go back to the client and say, hey, we just did it recently. We looked at a situation, we told the client, you know what, we are going to move into this account, but this makes more sense. And you always take a risk of people saying, well, they're not competent, they didn't get it perfect, but things change because of the volatility right now. Folks, insurance companies are responding to the feds at a rate that I've never seen. I have told you that these safe money strategies where you can add a tremendous amount of money into your accounts are not going to be around for good. So, folks, if you want to take advantage, and Tom, we need to look at your account. I mentioned that to you. So make sure that you reach out to me and we'll talk. We can handle that for you. So that's very, very important that we take advantage of some of these strategies. That's going to put money in your pocket, folks. This is about putting money in your pocket and keeping it in your pocket. Okay. And we can do it for young and old alike. Young and old alike. Patty, we got about 5 minutes before the end of this show that's gonna play in Christmas and it's gonna play in New Year. And so, folks, when you hear us again, um, you know,
I guess you could say we're not going to talk to them again till next year.
till next year. That's right. We will not talk to you until next year, not 12 months,
And we are
but
standing by, Doc,
in
ready when
about
you are.
about 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, Tom, I did, but I'm going to review your account today. I'm talking to someone as we're talking in our radio show. So, folks, when you hear me going off, I'm not chasing a squirrel. I'm just talking to somebody who's interacting with us at on Facebook. And folks that know me, I don't chase squirrels. I run over squirrels. Patty, I went for a week and I was with my son. We were going to tennis tournaments. And I think it's something with my car was causing squirrels to attack my car.
It's that electric.
No, this was before. This was a gas
before?
car. And I think I ran over 12 squirrels in a 1 week period. Yeah, and my son, who was 8 years old, he was horrified. He said,
Yes.
Dad, you're a killer of squirrels. What are you doing? I'm like, I didn't do anything. I'm just driving. And they were going under my car. So, yeah. Sorry for that. I just chased a squirrel and talking about the squirrels. But
Okay,
anyway.
no, you can edit that part out.
Yeah. Now we'll just let it go. Folks on Facebook, thank you again for tuning in. I just pray God's blessing on you all for a Merry Christmas. Share our Facebook post. Go to YouTube. Listen to some of the videos that we've done. Send us a like. I just want to thank you all for joining us, and stay tuned for some of our ministry posts that we're going to be doing. I'm excited about a meeting that we're going to be doing, and I'm telling this to people on Facebook in the Greenville area that I am praying is going to be a catalyst to a revival here in Greenville. I really am. Jerry, we reached out to you. Please call me if you need to. Call the office, 864-989-0176. I want to make sure your question got answered, and I think there's a way to potentially help your account. So give us a call, folks. I can't wait to talk to you. And folks, listen, I hope you have a great year for 2024. We need Jesus more in 2024. That's my motto. We need Jesus more in 2024.
I like that.
And so we always come up with these year-end or year-beginning mottos, and so that's really important. It really is important, folks. We want to help with all of this. It's crucial. So, folks, it's you want to take your accounts, you want to get rid of the volatility, you want to protect your accounts in ways that you haven't. And I believe we've got a few more minutes left on this segment. I just want to bless all of our listeners right now, everyone who's been listening to us faithfully throughout the year, Christmas, New Year's right now. Remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. And for our Jewish friends, and I have some ancestry there. I just want to wish you a happy Hanukkah. I think you guys get more gifts than we do because you get gifts for 7 days, I believe. And so I had an idea, folks. Why don't we celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas? So that way we can have all of that.
I think that's what the Christians did, the 12 days of Christmas.
The 12 days of Christmas?
They were like, on the first day of Christmas,
Yes. My true love said to me.
Exactly.
And you know what I like also about Hanukkah is when you break fast. You know why? You know what you break fast with? A bagel with lox, cream cheese.
You hear me, Doc?
Yes, sir.
All right, I can hear you. Let's see if it echoes back at us.
I think we're okay.
Yeah, appears to be. That's good. All right, we're ready to go then.
Rock and roll.
The Prosperity Hour is got about another 3 minutes, and then news.
If I could only get rid of your face and your name on my Restream. Oh, there we go. Now I'm showing up on Restream. Oh, good. Okay. Nope. Now I'm lost. I don't know what you're doing over there, but you keep capturing my screen, dude.
I didn't touch a thing. Not a thing.
You're touching something over there. Something's.
I'm touching my microphone switch, but that's about it.
I think when you do that, it's doing something with the. I'm going to have to come over there and see what you got going on and get that straightened out.
We need a geek.
It's going back and forth between you and me now.
Well, neither one of us should touch anything because it's working now.
Okay.
I'm going to send you some audio and we'll catch you at the weather.
All right, buddy.
Who denies that?
Mm.
And they were persecuted for their religion, for the way they looked, the way they ate. But if you notice, most
I just want to let you know I'm going to let some of that music play today. Going to go some nice lyrics there, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, but I'll cue you anyway. So,
All right, buddy.
against the anointed one. So, folks, we are in a precarious time in society. I want to challenge all of our listeners to prioritize God and Jesus and to pray for our planet, to pray for Israel, to pray for our nation, to pray for our political leaders, even the political leaders you don't like or care for. We need to pray. Okay. As MC Hammer said, he said, you need to pray, you need to pray, you need to pray just to make it through the day.
And we do.
Yeah, we do. We do. So, folks, we've got just a couple of minutes left, I think. And I appreciate you tuning in. And I pray that you have a happy, happy new year. Thank you again. I'm talking to our producer. I'm talking to Facebook. The only person I haven't talked to is my little dog, Macy, right now, who she will smile. And I'll post pictures of Macy smiling.
She's pressed.
Folks, God bless you. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. We'll see you next year. Patty, thank you. God bless you. Thanks so much for being with me on this show. Bye-bye, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I want to wish everybody a Merry, Merry Christmas, folks. I really do. Jesus Christ is the reason for the season. Remember that. And I also want to wish you a prosperous New Year's. And so we look forward to helping you in the prosperity group. God bless you. Have a wonderful new year. And I hope 2024 is a year of opportunity for our Lord Jesus. God bless you. Have a happy new year.
Tampa Bay's only conservative station. Up at 60, The Answer, WGUL. You need to download the Answer Tampa app or listen online at theanswertampa.com. Tune in at Odyssey. Wisconsin and LSU in the Reliant Quest Bowl. New Year's Day in Raymond James Stadium. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
With SRN News, I'm Michael Harrington in Washington. The war between Israel and Hamas continues, and other terrorist groups have gotten into it by attacking U.S. troops and international shipping. Former President Trump says such Iran proxies would never have tried that on his watch.
I would hit them so hard. I don't want to say where. I know exactly where. But I would, it's very tough to say exactly what I'm going to do on your radio show and announce it to the world. It's so crazy when I guess they call that democracy, but it's a very crazy thing. But I would hit them so hard. They know where. They would have never done it with me.
UPS has teamed up with the Salvation Army to spread Christmas cheer.
UPS employees in 5 cities have adopted 425 children this Christmas through the Salvation Army's Angel Tree program. The Christian nonprofit helps provide Christmas gifts to hundreds of thousands of children around the country each year. UPS hopes its efforts will inspire a cycle of giving and kindness. A company representative said, in the future, those kids could potentially be donors to Angel Tree because someone helped them. Bill Alexander, SRN News.
The Catholic Church moves a step closer to embracing gay marriage. Pope Francis has formally approved allowing priests to bless same-sex couples. The Vatican explains the radical change in policy by insisting that people seeking God's love and mercy should not be subjected to, quote, an exhaustive moral analysis to receive it. Pope recently suggested blessing of gay couples could be offered under some circumstances. This is SRN News.
It's time, Tampa Bay. It's College Bowl season in your backyard.
ReliaQuest Bowl 2024. Two of the country's top head coaches go face-to-face. The Big Ten's Luke Fickell and Wisconsin Badgers collide head-on with Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers of the SEC for the coveted ReliaQuest Bowl Championship Trophy. New Year's Day, Raymond James Stadium, Ticketmaster.
Calling all Patriots. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Journey with me on the Patriots Alaska Cruise in June 2024. We'll dive deep into geopolitical trends and unpack the influences shaping the world today. It's an incredible opportunity to engage with me and other Patriots on an epic 7-day journey. Witness the untouched wilderness of Alaska while discussing America's future and role in the world. Join us from June 29th to July 6, 2024. Book online. PatriotsAlaskaCruise.com.
The following program is sponsored by Bay Area Medical Can Care Clinic.
The latest from AccuWeather at the top and bottom of the hour. Only on AM 860, The Answer.
Mostly cloudy skies for today, high 75. Overcast and mild tonight. Good weather for Santa, low 66. Christmas Day tomorrow, cloudy. A shower in spots of the afternoon, high 71. Couple of showers Tuesday morning, otherwise cloudy, high 75. Get your weather news when and how you want it, wherever you are. Download our free app or visit AccuWeather.com. That's your AccuWeather forecast. I'm Drew Shannon for AM 860, The Answer.
Made the holidays such a stressful affair. Ain't got no time to take it slow. But I talked to Santa Claus. He gave us one right.
Go, Doc.
Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Bill, your radio MD. I'm streaming live, but all you can see is Ken Zahir's name on the. But that's okay. You can still hear me, I think. I hope.
They should be able to hear you just fine, Doc. Yeah.
Well, I just popped up now on Restream, and so that my face is going out now. So I don't know what's going on. It's got to be at your end, Ken. I'm going to come over there and get those things straightened out.
We need a geek.
We need a geek. We need Joe to be more geekish. So today is Christmas Eve, dude.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. And, it's Jesus's birthday. So the little guy is coming back into the world, or never left the world, whatever. I'm not sure which. But the guy that's really made it famous is St. Nicholas. Did you know that?
Made who famous?
Made Christmas famous.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure why. Because of presents?
Well, I think so. But you know who he was? Do you know his history?
St. Nick? No. Imagine he rode in a sleigh and
he was born in what's now Turkey, and he was a Christian bishop, and he was born in 270 AD, and he died in the 300s, and he never married, and he was purported to be a miracle worker, and he gave gifts to children, to needy children, and he's also the patron saint of woodworkers, sailors, unmarried people, sailors, merchants, archers. He's got a whole bunch of things that he's
and children, I would imagine,
and children too. And he is what Santa Claus is based on, St. Nicholas. And the Orthodox Church celebrates Christmas on the feast of the Nativity, I believe. What's that? January 6th.
You are sorry.
So, at any rate, he is Santa Claus, and he was supposedly at the First Council of Nicaea, although nobody can document that for sure. And the First Council of Nicaea is where the Christian Church formalized the creed of the Christian Church. There's very few things that are set in stone as making you a Christian. You know that. I mean, you have to believe that Jesus is God.
It's all internal. It's all in your head and your heart. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Islam, where you have 5 pillars and you have to believe this, and the Quran is the last word of God, is given to Muhammad after he had had a seizure or two. So he was post-ictal. Today we just put him on medication. He wouldn't be hearing any. But
I'm interested about Saint Nick. Did they have you found any information on what the miracles were attributed to Saint Nick? Because you can't be a saint unless you have miracles attributed to you by the Pope.
yeah, I don't know what he did exactly. Let's see. Little is known about the
Just too old. Yeah, just too far away.
I guess if he made it to the First Council of Nicaea, that was probably a miracle in and of itself.
I'm sure somewhere deep in the Vatican they have that answer.
And he resurrected 3 children who had been murdered and pickled in brine by a butcher planning to sell them as pork during a famine. So
that's a miracle.
He brought people back to life. But I mean, come on, 3 people. Hell, I brought way more people back to life. But I don't think they're going to make me a saint, though, kid.
Probably not. No.
Kind of hurts my feelings, to tell you the truth. I thought I should be.
Not that the Lord isn't working through you in some way, but you're more medical than spiritual.
Well, we'll let Nick work his side of the street, and I'll work mine. How about that?
That's right. Fine.
And if he wants to bring pickled babies back to life out of a brine barrel, well, go for it, buddy.
More power to him. Absolutely.
If you can do it, let me know let me know the science behind it. I'll plug it into the practice.
You'll be rich. That's right.
I'll plug it into the practice, baby. I'm already rich. What are you talking about?
Be richer.
I'm happy. I've got everything I need. A radio show. I've got you. And
you're right. What more do you need?
What more do I need in my life?
You got radio and me.
So, did you hear about Fat Leonard? You know, the swap that Joe Biden did with Venezuela.
I've heard a little bit. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to that story. Tell me more about it.
Well, Fat Leonard,
Fat Leonard,
he's a Singapore businessman, and he's wanted here in the United States because he was supposedly bribing the captains of the fleets, of the American fleets, to go to certain ports where he would take care of the ships and refurbish them. And he had a little thing going where he was the man to go to get your ship back up to snuff when you were out of fuel or you needed supplies or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so he was inviting the captains of these ships out and supposedly getting them, how do you say it? People who accompany you, of the female persuasion.
Ah, I see.
And food and nice hotel rooms. And I guess a couple of these career Navy guys, they lost their careers. And so Fat Leonard fled. He made it to Venezuela, and the Venezuelans locked him up because they don't like Fat Leonard either. So we have something in common with Venezuela now.
So they shipped him back here. What did they get?
We're going to lock his ass up.
Oh, okay.
They got back, I don't know, some of their thugs that we've been holding. Who knows?
Yeah.
Any rate, Fat Leonard's back home, and David Lausman is one of the military guys, one of the Navy guys that got thrown under the bus because of Fat Leonard. And so I guess he'll be doing time.
They lost their commissions, lost their pensions.
Yeah,
hardly worth it, huh?
Supposedly, but I don't even know if they really did anything wrong. But they apparently were accused of doing something wrong.
Yeah, probably lost their ships.
In the military, once you have that stigmata on you, it's tough to get rid of it. I mean, you can be a politician like Joe Biden and have done all kinds of bad things, and they really don't stick.
You just deny it, yeah.
You just deny it. That's right.
But right in the military, they don't put up with that. They don't like, especially public failures.
No, they don't like that at all. The military's, at least until recently, has been pretty strict. I mean, you are not supposed to have an affair with another fellow military person. we don't say military men anymore. We have to say military person.
Soldiers,
sailors,
right? Marines.
There you go.
Air Force pilots.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to do this and not do that. And if you have an affair, you can get kicked out. So if you're married and you have an affair and you get caught, that's a court-martial offense, and you'll get a dishonorable discharge. I doubt they enforce that a whole lot anymore. My God, they probably have to fire half the base. But it does teach you one lesson, Ken.
And what's that?
You better be discreet.
Oh,
be
better
discreet.
be good.
You
Better be good.
Well, you can be good, and but if you can't be good, be discreet.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind, Doc. Thanks.
All right, buddy.
Worldly advice there.
So Fat Leonard's back, and we're all rejoicing. Welcome home, Fat Leonard.
Well, I'm glad they're going to lock
Christmas.
Wasn't that a Bill Cosby character, Fat Leonard?
Yeah, it was. I remember. Is Bill still in prison?
No, Bill's out.
He got out?
Oh, yeah, he's been out for a while.
Oh, good.
But somebody else, I think, filed some charges against him now. So I think he's starting all over again with somebody else. Now, I guess his wife's not too pleased with him anymore either.
Oh, she divorced him?
That's what I don't think they're divorced yet, but I don't think they're, taking vacations together. Yeah.
Working out the finances.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, Bill was he was a big name. And
hey, I tell you, regardless of the guy, I once spent a night at the Eric Crown Theater in Chicago laughing so hard at his show. I was in pain, Doc. I was literally in pain.
I mean, these
such
women,
talent.
Oh, he was funny. And these women come forward after decades. And I don't know, what do they get out of it? Just anger and revenge, or what?
Money, I guess.
Money? Did it get paid off too? I'm sure they do.
Yeah. But
that's
sad.
why that's
sad to see him. Sad to see him end up like that.
Yeah, and that's why I'm faithful to my wife.
So am I.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're faithful to my wife?
No, to mine.
Oh, to yours. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I didn't know there were two.
The vivacious Deborah. The vivacious Deborah. That's who we're talking about over here.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, I think you have weapons in the house, don't you? So I would be careful.
I would. You better. Yeah. Oh, speaking of weapons, oh my gosh, I took my car up to the car wash day before yesterday, and they washed it, and I don't know what they did. They pushed a button or something and folded my mirrors all the way in, and I thought they were broken because I couldn't get them to go back out and work the way they were supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back to the car wash and I said, "You broke my mirrors." And the lady came out and she said, "Well, let me get the manager, the owner, because he probably knows how to fix it," but he wasn't there. And so one of the guys that works there comes running up and he tries to get in my car. He says, "I know what to do." I'm like, "Dude, you're the one that messed it up. Wait." And he's like, "Oh, he was mad. He was hot. Had my hand on my pistol. I was afraid he was going to beat the crap out of me."
Sound like a carjacking taking place all of a sudden.
But she said, "Oh, well, there's got to be something that you can do, a button or something." So I read the manual, and sure enough, there's a little button right above the little electric thing that makes the side view mirrors go in and out and up and down.
Sure.
And I pushed it and click, it was back to normal. So I guess this guy knew what to do, but he came charging at me to get into my car. I'm like, "Dude, it's my car. Get away from it." But I don't know. Maybe I should go back and apologize, huh?
No, he shouldn't have done that. You don't run up to somebody trying to get in their car in this day and age.
Yeah, I mean,
especially somebody over the age of 65.
Yeah, and if he had just said, "Hey, Doc," or "Hey, sir, I know how to fix it. Let me show you." I said, "Okay, good."
Or at least identify the fact that you worked there.
Well, I knew he worked there. That I understood, but still, running up to my car like that was a little shocking. Just shocked. I was shocked. Just shocked. There was actually gambling in this place.
My goodness. What next?
What next? And by the way, when you leave the house tonight, make sure you collect my money that I won at the crap table, would you? And no more gambling in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So did you hear the Iranians have a spy ship now that helps?
Yeah, I saw that.
It helps them direct their attacks. And apparently they hit a vessel that was like a 100 or 200 miles off the coast of India. Boy, they're really going for it now, aren't they?
They're trying to disrupt commercial shipping, yes. But you know what? They want to fight. We're ready for them. So, and they're heading that way.
If Joe will fight.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It seems to be more about loving than fighting. He wants everybody to be happy and
Excited
for Trump.
Sit around, sing Kumbaya. Everything will be fine.
He just doesn't say nice things about Trump, and I don't understand.
Well, at least he knows who he's up against. You know, that's the. I was worried he wouldn't even know.
He wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
Who's that other guy?
Yeah. Exactly.
I just,
you know, he may think it's a primary. He's looking for Hillary. He doesn't know.
It's shocking that we have a president that is demented. I mean, he's unbelievable. But I'll say one thing: they did a good job with him with his medications for his Parkinson's disease. Because when he was campaigning, I mean, he looked terrible. He could hardly walk. His hand was doing that 3 to 5 second pill rolling movement, and he had the what we call the Parkinsonian mask, where you can't move your facial muscles, so you can't smile, and you can talk, but you know your facial muscles are frozen. And now he actually is walking okay, and his tremor has gotten better. And you know, it's pretty amazing what modern medicine has been able to do, especially with diseases like Parkinson's. These diseases are tough. These degenerative diseases of the brain, and I think that we've got a ways to go before we could cure these. You know, it's hard to work on the brain and study the brain because most people won't let you open their head up and take a biopsy.
We're all using it, yeah.
Yeah, they're still using it.
We hope we're using it.
But we need to get them right before they die so we can get some living tissue and see. So, but a lot of families, they don't like that.
Well, I don't mind, Doc. If you want to get a piece of my brain, that's fine.
We'd have to get through all that nicotine and tar first.
Yeah, it'll be worth it in the end. If you can find it. It's in there somewhere.
Somewhere in there it is.
Yeah.
It is. So the Houthis, I guess they're firing at everybody now.
Why aren't we firing at the Houthis?
I don't know.
That's what all of America is asking. Why aren't we fighting? Why aren't we firing back? Why are we just letting them shoot at our ships? I don't care if the missiles are supposed to be going to Israel. They're going over our ships.
Well, it's real simple. You just take a blockbuster bomb and you drop it in their neighborhood, and that's the end of it.
One F-22
could take them out.
A B-2. They got to fly a B-2 in there. Drop 5 or 6 of those things.
And just get a couple of warthogs and let them go low and mow them down.
That'll scare the heck out of anybody, I'll tell you.
I love those planes.
I love the Warthog.
They are one of the most awesome planes ever built.
Yep. And they are built for low combat. They are so well armed from underneath. And the Marines and the soldiers anyway, the Army love them. Because they come in and they just clear things out when they get into a big fight.
And you know, the other airplane that was just unbelievably remarkable was the B-17. Those things would come in with half a wing gone, and they could fly back and land.
I know, they come in with half a tail, you know, barely anything left.
I know, and it's just amazing what a workhorse that was, and what abuse it took, and was able to still fly home.
Yeah, World War II aircraft. They knew what they were doing.
And that's my Uncle Jackie died on one of those. He was
a bomber.
Yeah, he was in a B. He was a crewman on a B-17. They were coming back from a bombing mission, I think, from Hamburg, and they got shot down over the North Sea. And of course, at that time, back in the 40s, if you ended up in the North Sea, it was a death sentence. There was no rescue boats or warm weather outfits and all that.
There were no beepers to tell them where you were or anything like that. So
you froze to death. That was the end of it.
And quickly too in the North Sea.
Which is probably merciful.
Yeah.
You get.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, he was a hippy dippy kind of guy back in the late 30s and early 40s, and playing the drums and smoking pot and doing all that stupid stuff. And when the war broke out, stopped all that, went and enlisted in the Army Air Force. That was a voluntary job, when you went into the Army Air Force back then, because it had such a high mortality rate. I mean, they lost a lot of people, Not as many as the German U-boat guys, but they had.
Every time you shot one down, you lose 10 guys.
Yeah, and so they probably had a 25% mortality rate.
Yeah.
And so that was tough. I have his.
That's what Jimmy
heart.
Stewart did. He was in a bomber. Jimmy Stewart was a captain in a bomber.
Yeah, I have his Purple Heart here. My dad.
Excuse me?
I have my Uncle Jack.
Oh, I thought you had Jimmy Stewart's Purple Heart. I was going to say
no, Jimmy.
Jimmy never got wounded. I don't think.
I asked him for it.
Yeah, what do you want it for?
For a miracle on 34th Street or whatever.
Oh, that's fine. I'll send it out to you.
So the Houthis have got they've got the spy ship helping them shoot at us, and we're not happy. At least the American people aren't happy, but the Houthis are happy.
I'm sure they're laughing. They're laughing all the way.
They're like, Yahoo! Look at this.
They must just. I can't explain it. But you're right. I think we should do something there.
It's just
the administration is so afraid of escalating things.
It's irrational. Well, come on. Well, this is.
I think shooting, at us is escalating it.
Yeah,
we're just defending ourselves.
This is like Neville Chamberlain and before World War II. Well, we don't want to get Hitler upset because it might widen the war.
Hello.
The war is already here and it's widening whether you want it to or not.
Exactly. So
we're in the middle of a war. Come on, we've got two proxies fighting on two different fronts.
But it's the same war.
It's the same war, and we've got men in Iraq fighting, and we've still got. I'm sure we've still got special forces in different parts of the Middle East and the Far East.
Undoubtedly,
and
so do the British, and so do the Israelis. I mean, I think we're pretty well covered.
Yeah, and if we don't stand up to these people, they'll run us over. I mean, that's
they said they want to. That's what they want to do.
That's what thugs and bullies want to do. They want to get you.
Mm-hmm.
The Iranians and the Russians, they've been saying this for decades. We're going to get you. And now
yesterday I was reading an article. Some high up Russian said that the era of democracy, the 500-year era of democracy, is over, and we're going to see to it. So,
and that's the same with the Chinese. The Chinese aren't afraid of us militarily. I mean, they don't think we're going to come in and invade them and take over their country. They're afraid that democracy will take a foothold in China and that we are the number one proponent of democracy. We export democracy along with dollars. And the Chinese don't like that. They want to maintain control. And that's why they're out to get us.
Well, they better be careful.
Yeah. I mean, look, if they take on the United States, Japan, Taiwan, the Philippines, Australia, India will get pulled into it, of course. I mean, they got their hands full, bud.
Yeah.
They won't be able to deal with all that.
I like what we're doing in the Pacific right now. I was reading about this yesterday. We're taking we have up until now, we've been grouping this kind of amazing how history repeats itself. We've been taking all our aircraft and we've been keeping them in the same place in like 3 different large bases throughout the Southern Pacific, the Central Pacific. And it's finally dawned on them, hey, this is kind of like Pearl Harbor. We've got everything bundled up together. Only take a couple missiles, take these things out. So now they're reopening all these small airports that we built, like Tinian Island. We're opening up Tinian Island again for bombers, and we're going to play a little game of guess where our planes are with the Chinese. So they would have to bomb specific areas with missiles that they think planes are in if they're still there. So it's going to be a little cat and mouse game with the Chinese for the rest of the decade, probably.
Yeah, tell me this, Ken. Do we have any oil? Do we have any fuel left, or did Joe give it all away to somebody?
Well, I'm sure we'll find some aviation fuel to keep the Air Force going.
I hope we do.
That's called rationing, Doc. Remember those days?
Oh yeah, I remember. You remember the Teapot Dome scandal back in the 1920s?
Yeah.
That was the Secretary of the Interior was selling our strategic oil reserves that were supposed to be earmarked for our Navy to his buddies.
Over at Shell?
And it brought down Warren Harding's regime.
Yeah. He didn't know what was going on in his cabinet.
No, he didn't. And then he had a heart attack and dropped dead. And oh well.
I know. Wow. Well, that's we got to start doing something. We just can't let them run all over us.
We got to. We have to. If we don't, we're going to sink further into this mire of ineffectiveness that seems to be sweeping across the country. And I mean, it's like the southern border. What are we doing? I mean, are we just going to let millions of people walk across the border?
Well, I tell you, the northern states are beginning to catch on now that there might be a problem.
Yeah, they better.
Well, what Texas is doing is very effective. Again, up in Chicago just yesterday, or last week rather, a couple days ago, a bus showed up, but Chicago put some rules in that if they don't drop them off in a specific area, they will be fined $750 per person. The bus company will. So the bus companies are now just dropping them off in suburbs all over Chicago and telling them Chicago's that way, walk that way.
You got Pete
driving everybody crazy up there.
You walked up the Central American isthmus. You can walk a few more miles.
That's right.
Get your butt over there.
That's 30 miles to the north. Go ahead. But they're just dropping them off into suburbs now where there are no laws. But there will be. I'm sure these communities will put those laws in effect soon. But they're getting the message.
Now, did they give them a little box lunch or a sack lunch before they sent them on their 30-mile walk north?
They just opened the door and said, out.
Well, you could probably drop them off in Gary, Indiana, and nobody would even notice.
And it was about 50 of them, I think they were dropping off per drop. So,
and now I see Texas governor is flying them, chartering jets, and nice looking jets too. I mean,
yeah, one of those landed O'Hare too last week, I think so.
Yeah, and then what do? You just get out and you walk into the terminal, and then what happens?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. And neither do they. Neither the people of Chicago or anywhere else up north right now.
Now, when I fly, the TSA scans me and pulls my pants down and everything else. I have to show an ID to get on the plane and a ticket. And these guys are coming in with no identification, and they're letting them on planes. And they're letting them get on the planes and go wherever they want.
Well, if it's a charter like they sent to O'Hare, I guess they could get away with that because everybody on the plane has been vetted by them, I would think.
When they get off, if they got money, they want to go to New York because that's where their cousins and their
they should go through customs, shouldn't they?
What are they going to do? They don't have any identification. They don't have passports. How are you going to go through customs?
I don't know.
They just let them come through. They just let them walk through.
It's crazy.
It's craziness.
It's a heck of a way to run a country, Doc.
It makes absolutely no sense. And my crazy sisters are like, well, we never had immigration laws. The hell we didn't. We had immigration laws starting back in the 19th century.
Yeah, that's Ellis Island. Go take a look at it. It's still there.
We put a quota on the number of immigrants coming from China back in the 1860s, 1870s, 1880s, because of the fear of the labor market being flooded with cheap labor, and then people that had been born here and were citizens, they wouldn't be able to get a job and make a living because the Chinese would come in and they would work for less money. Their needs were less, and they lived communally, and they take jobs away from the Native Americans. And when I say Native Americans, I mean people who were born in this country, not people who cross the
U.S. citizens.
Yeah, not people who crossed the Siberian landmass 10, 15,000 years ago.
That's different kind of writing. Exactly.
That's a different kind of Native American. But at any rate, it's just unbelievable that we are allowing this. And I don't understand what the end game is. Do they think these people are going to vote for them or what?
I think that is what they're hoping in the long run. Yeah.
It's never worked for them before, has it?
Well, maybe they're playing a numbers game. Maybe they figure they can get a certain percentage of these folks.
And then I heard Chuck Schumer say, "Well, we need laborers. We need people to work." Well, hell, I don't think that's true, Ken. There's a lot of people just sitting around doing nothing. You know?
I think that's just agriculture.
Oh, that's just agriculture.
That's just agriculture. You know, because it's tough work being out there picking lettuce. You know, and a lot of Americans don't want to do that yet.
I thought I might become a lettuce picker at one point.
Did you really?
I did.
It was an aspiration of yours, was it?
It was an aspiration. I was trying to get ahead of the game.
Okay. Need more lettuce. That's where the money is. You know, it's a good thing. It's giving away mugs.
Let's do it. Let's give away a mug.
We're going to give you a little Christmas present, but you got to work for it just a little bit. Not too hard today. Question's easy. 2, Dr. Bill, you have a Radio MD coffee mugs up for grabs under our Christmas tree at 877-969-8600. The first person who can correctly answer this question: which saint were we talking about at the top of the show this morning? Which saint were we talking about at the top of the show this morning? Thinking what time of the year it is? Should be pretty easy. 877-969-8600, 877-969-8600. First caller with the correct answer wins. Ain't that right, Doc?
That's right, buddy. And remember now, it's not St. William.
No.
I'll give you one hint. It's not St. William. And so St. William is now going to go get a cup of coffee, and you can always see me at the office, 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. We'll be right back.
Here's the latest from the Answer News Center.
With SRN News, I'm Michael Harrington in Washington. The Israeli military says 14 soldiers have been killed in combat in the Gaza Strip over the weekend, some of the bloodiest days of battle since the start of Israel's ground offensive in late October, and a sign that Hamas is still putting up a fight. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told his cabinet meeting this morning, quote, "The war exacts a heavy price, but we must continue the fighting." With Christmas tomorrow, you might want to check the list of what stores are open and closed twice, from retail to grocery chains. Many companies across the U.S. will shut their doors on Christmas Day, including Walmart and Target. Others opt to cut back hours, but there's also a handful of businesses that will be staying open tomorrow. CVS, McDonald's amongst them. Before you run out the door on Christmas, if you must, it's wise to double-check operating hours, which can change by location, the companies say. This is SRN News.
AM 860, The Answer. Listen on our website, theanswertampa.com, 93.7 FM, W229DJ Dunedin, by downloading the Answer Tampa app or on TuneIn or Odyssey.
Dr. Bill for Bay Area Medical, located at 6399 38th Avenue North in St. Pete, 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. Full-service clinic with X-ray, heart imaging, ultrasound, stress testing, and minor surgery. We provide quality health care in a warm and friendly atmosphere. We are multilingual, well-trained, and certified. Most American insurance and new patients accepted. Bay Area Medical, home of Can Care, 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. Dr. Bill here. With social distancing and sheltering in place, telemedicine is here. Bay Area Medical Home of Can Care Clinic offers telemedicine for new and established patients. You can see me without an in-office visit. Schedule an appointment at 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. When it's time for your appointment, type this web address into your cell phone or computer web browser, doxy.me/Bay Area Med. A cell phone works well and is all you really need. For computers, you need a web camera and speakers. We'll give you this address when you call for your appointment. We accept most insurances and travel insurances. Canadians and visitors, please call your travel insurance company for an authorization number prior to the visit. Copays and deductibles apply. Self-pay rates are available. Just ask. We accept credit cards, PayPal, and Stripe. 727-384-6411. 727-384-6411. Dr. Bill here. My friends at St. Pete MRI and Sleep Diagnostics are your best choice for state-of-the-art MRI, CT, and sleep studies. Quality unsurpassed. 25 years experience makes St. Pete MRI my go-to imaging center. Self-pay rates are competitive and out-of-pocket cost a fraction of a hospital. Conveniently accessible from both sides of the bay at 750 94th Avenue North, St. Pete, near the Gandy. 727-577-2220. 727-577-2220.
The latest from AccuWeather at the top and bottom of the hour. This report is brought to you by Auto Glass America.
Mostly cloudy skies for today, high 75.
Back, Doc, I don't see you.
Good weather for Santa, low 66. Christmas Day tomorrow, cloudy, a shower in spots in the afternoon, high 71.
Now I see you.
Showers Tuesday morning, otherwise cloudy, high 75. Get your weather news when and how you want it.
Not hearing you. Say something.
Download our free app or visit AccuWeather.com. That's your AccuWeather forecast.
Nothing.
I'm Drew Shannon for AM 860, The Answer.
Nothing, honey. Are we back?
Go, Doc.
All right, I'm back with Ken. We've got a show going on here, and I don't know what we're talking about. A little bit of everything, but
we're just winging it today.
We're just winging it today. It's a holiday eve. So, what are you doing tonight for Christmas Eve, Ken?
Big dinner. Family all shows up at the house, and they're cooking it right now.
We're going to go down to St. Pete Beach, and there's a restaurant called Spinners. It's on the 14th floor of the old Holiday Inn Hotel, which was bought by somebody, and they refurbished and rehabbed it. I don't know how good the food is, but I'm guessing there's going to be fireworks down on St. Pete Beach tonight. A lot of the hotels, they usually do that on holiday eves and holidays. So
that should be nice. Yeah.
It should be fun. Yeah, and the boy's back in town, so we're going to take him out and wine and dine and have some fun. And
so I'll be on KP tonight. That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah,
well, I'll be doing dishes. I'll be taking care of the dishes afterwards.
I'll be making dirty dishes. That's my job tonight.
And I'll tell you what, Diane Woodrow's job was to call us and get a correct answer for the mugs, and she did just that.
Good job, Diane.
Diane Woodrow from Bradenton.
Bradenton, I've heard of that place.
Down south, yeah.
That's right near Sarasota, isn't it?
Just north of Sarasota, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a hot area right now.
So Diane knew that the saint we were talking about at the top of the show was good old Saint Nick, Santa Claus himself.
Ho, ho, ho. Well, yes. Congratulations, Diane, and thanks for listening. We love you, we need you, and we want you.
And thanks to everybody who tried. We had a lot of folks calling in today.
Oh, good, good. Well, I wish that I could give mugs to everybody. Now, if you come to the practice and you join the practice, you can get 2 free mugs. We have them sitting out on the front table in the waiting room. So anytime you want to become a patient, and we do have, as we've said before, Ken, we do have some Medicare Advantage plans that we take. And you're looking at what, the Blue Cross Blue Shield one that we're
I'm going to go with a Gap.
Okay.
I'm going with the Gap plan. I like the flexibility. I can go to you. I don't have to worry about being in a network or anything like that. So I like the Gap plans.
There you go. And so we have a lot of opportunities for people on Medicare, and we also accept most insurances. Some of them don't pay very well, and so we don't take them. But we're not on any big HMO plans. So we're not tied down by the restrictions of the HMOs that try to keep you from getting the care that you need.
Yeah, because if you recommend a test, I want to be able to take that test. Yeah, without somebody between us saying, no, you can't do that.
Well, I think it's fair that occasionally somebody questions me and says, hey, do you really need this? Because, you're on the fly and you're trying to get everything done, and you just, you just say, well, look, I think this would be the best test for you right now. And it may not be. Occasionally I may go overboard, and occasionally I may go underboard. I mean, that's just human nature, but you got to be persistent. If you think you need something, and I think you need something, then we got to do it. And Beth, our front office lady, she is good at getting permission to do these studies. And if I am able to talk with the medical director at the insurance company that's challenging whether or not a procedure is necessary, I'd say 95% of the time I can convince them. And that's without even lying, Ken.
But it takes your time. I mean, there are other things you could be doing with that time.
Yes, it does take time, and it is a nuisance. And back in the 80s, when the HMOs were coming in, a lot of doctors were saying, "Oh, well, we've been unethical. We've ordered too many tests." And yes, we did keep people in the hospital longer than they should have been, but some of that was just because we didn't know. And I think that in that respect, the HMOs have been good in driving us to look more closely at what we can do in hospital and out of hospital. And also the technology's gotten better, Ken. So a lot of things like, you'd go in for a hernia repair in 1970, you'd be in the hospital for 2 or 3 days. Now it's an outpatient procedure.
Is it really?
Yeah. You just go in and
do a scope kind of thing?
Well, the scope is one way to do it, but most of the surgeons like the open procedure where they can put the mesh in. It's better. It holds longer. There's less redos. But you go in and you're an NPO, no food to eat in the morning, and you get prepped and you go in and they give you the propofol, which knocks you out and takes the surgeon 20 minutes. You go sit in a room, you wake up, you've had a really nice nap from the propofol. And of course your groin hurts like hell, but that's too bad.
You have pills for that.
Yeah, we got pills for that. And once you're awake and alert, they boot you out. Somebody drives you home. That's it.
Well, that's good. Keep costs down. If you don't have to be there, don't be there.
Yeah, and you know what? There's less infections. There's less side effects. There's less complications because you got to get up and get moving. And in the old days, we thought, oh, don't move and you'll heal better. Now we know for a lot of things, if you get up and you move, you actually will heal quicker. Did you know that?
No. Why is that? The body just functions that way.
Yeah, it stimulates blood flow. It stimulates the immune system to get busy and fight off any foreign invaders. And it does a lot of things that you would think are healthy things to do if you're exercising. So you get your butt up and you get moving. I told you after I had my knee, the morning after surgery, I asked the surgeon if I was stable, and he said, "You were stable 60 seconds after I glued everything onto your bones." They glued on. I said, "Can I walk around?" He said, "Sure." I walked around the whole hospital with a walker. Dropped in the administrative office, said hello to everybody. Went and had lunch with the guys.
So get up, keep moving if
you got to get up. You got to get up and go. That's the only way you can do it for most things. I mean, some things you can't, but most things. And so that's a good thing that I think the HMOs have helped push. That we find better technology and we have better science on how to treat people post-operatively and how to keep them out of the hospital. That's okay. That's okay with me.
All right. I'm still going with the GAP plan.
Yeah, no, do it. That's all.
It's a little more expensive, but I like the freedom.
So Israel signals that it could agree to the Palestinian Authority coming back in and taking over after the war. And I see where Joe has convinced them, at least for now, not to engage Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. So we'll see if that holds up. I don't know what Hezbollah is going to do. Do you think they're going to jump in, or do you think that I think we bombed them fairly well, quietly, and gave them a little warning shot that if they jump in, the United States will be in it too, full. I mean, we're already in it, but we'll be in it full force.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my gut tells me in the end they'll all be in it, but including Iran and us and Britain and Australia and all of us.
Well, you know what? We could take Iran off the map in a couple of hours, for God's sakes.
Well, we could destroy their whole Air Force in about 15 minutes, yeah. They're still flying our old F-117s, I think, or something like that.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, you remember what Reagan did when he came in? He took out their whole Navy. I mean, it wasn't much of a Navy. He took every ship out. And then all they had were those little speedboats. Remember that? And
yeah, I do. Yeah.
they'd put a torpedo on it and run out and try and blow up something and come back. And the American ships were shooting them in the water, blowing them out with those Gatling guns that they use.
Right.
Those things are neat.
They are.
I mean,
as long as you're on the firing side, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they'll make mincemeat out of you. That's for sure.
Yeah, we need Ronnie again.
Or we need somebody. I think Trump was quietly doing a good job on the foreign front, on the war front. I know that he sent troops into Syria and back into Iraq, and I still think we have a presence in Iraq and Syria.
Certainly. I don't know about Syria, but I know Iraq's.
I think we're still in Syria.
Yeah.
And one of my friends who was a Marine, ex-Marine, he had gone through the military academy through Annapolis. So he graduated from the Naval Academy, and he was a captain in the Marines. And I said, "Why'd you get out?" He said, "No wars." So if there's no wars, you can't move up.
I see. Yeah.
And so he said, it was a dead end job for me. I would have had to stay in for 20, 30 more years before I could make it up to the top brass. I think a captain in the Marines and in the Navy is like a colonel in the Army and Air Force, full bird. So at any rate, he said, "Oh yeah," he was talking with some of his friends, and they had their, I don't know what they are, 155 millimeter artillery pieces, and they were shelling the crap out of the ISIS guys and the rebels in Syria. And I guess that's when they killed 15 or 20 Russians. Do you remember that?
Now I remember. Yes.
A few years back. Yeah. Well, that was our boys.
Mm-hmm. Well done, gentlemen.
Good job, Joe. Speaking of Trump, did you see where the Supreme Court said no, they're not going to fast track the process to decide whether or not he actually committed a crime and was involved in the insurrection and all that, whatever that means. I didn't see an insurrection. I thought
that's the immunity question, I think, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Whether he was immune because he was an ex-president. And I guess the prosecuting attorney in New York thought, well, this is going to really make my day. I'll be a hero and the Supreme Court will rule in my favor and all that. And the Supreme Court said, I don't think this is really something that we have to fast track, which is a way of them saying, we've looked at this and we're underwhelmed, which means that this DA, what's his name, Smith?
Yes.
He lost the first inning, the first round of the boxing match. He got KO'd.
Yeah, he's going to reschedule that trial. That's not going to start in March.
No, and they're going to, and I would guess that when the Supreme Court does start taking up all this stuff that they're accusing Trump of and trying to criminalize, they're going to overturn most of this. I mean, first of all, the legislature has no business deciding what are secret documents and what are not. That is an executive branch function, not a legislative function. So, and you haven't heard much about that lately, have you?
Not a word, really. No, just kind of went away.
Yeah, because they can't do anything. I mean, they have nothing to prosecute. And if they do, and it goes to the Supreme Court's going to say, well, this law is unconstitutional, and that's the end of that. And now they're throwing him off the ballot when he hasn't even been not only has he not been accused of a crime, he was acquitted by the Senate. So he's already been tried and acquitted, and now they're trying to make it a criminal private citizen situation, and nobody's found any evidence that he did anything wrong. Yet Colorado says, well, he suborned insurrection, and so now we're not going to let him be on the ballot in Colorado. That ain't going to stand, Ken.
for a second. When
That
you
is not
can't,
gonna-
you haven't been convicted of anything.
You haven't been. He hadn't even been charged.
You're not an insurrectionist unless you're convicted of being an insurrectionist or whatever they're going to use.
And I thought an insurrection was when you picked up arms and went after the government.
Kinda, yeah.
And QAnon, you remember him, the crazy
Sure.
guy?
Mm-hmm.
The weapon he had, it was a flagpole with a ball on the end. It's going to be a battering ram.
He's running for office right now.
I thought he was still locked up.
No, he's out. He did his time. He's running for office. I forgot. I think it's in Arizona.
You know,
Sure.
He's manic depressive. He's got major psychiatric issues.
Well, and government work is fine for him.
Yeah. He'll fit right in.
That's right.
He and Joe could probably be big buddies in Fetterman. They could have a party.
Oh, man. The
Democracy,
world's gone crazy, Doc. The world's gone crazy.
is democracy messy or what?
It is. It's terrible. Let's find something else. Let's put King Doc. King Doc.
I'm all for it. Listen, Julius Caesar said, "Hey, democracy ain't working. I'm taking over." And actually, things ran pretty well for a few hundred years in Rome. They lasted till, I guess, remnants of the empire lasted until what, 1500, when Constantinople finally fell to the Turks. Dang Turks. And they turned that beautiful church into a mosque. It hurt my feelings. I was alive then.
Were you?
Yeah, I was there, and I fled. But at any rate, now we're back to it. And did you know that a lot of the Muslim world celebrates Christmas? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, people all
why,
over.
why are they celebrating Christmas?
Well, they think Jesus was a good guy, and he was like a prophet or whatever. And,
right. In the Muslim religion, he is considered a prophet. Yes.
Yeah, he's considered a prophet, and of course, who doesn't like presents? Come on. I mean,
of course.
When I was buying equipment and supplies from the Chinese for the toenail gel, they celebrate Christmas. They celebrate Halloween, and they'd send me Christmas cards.
Who doesn't like a good party?
Who doesn't like a good party? Everybody loves Christmas.
Speaking of Christmas, during the break, I turned around and I noticed a big red box behind me. Somebody has dropped off a Christmas present for me. And then I saw Roger P. Shulman in the hallway. So Roger came by, drop off a Christmas present for me this morning. Wasn't that nice of him?
Well, be careful now. Make sure you X-ray it and scan it and wipe it down for explosives.
Why would Roger P. Shulman want to hurt me?
Well, it's Roger. Oh, okay.
Yes.
No,
Roger came in. Roger was
all right. It's Roger P. Then that's okay. You can open it.
All right. Good. I was starting to worry about old Raj.
Any rate, I'm waiting for a couple more presents to show up. I think that they're supposed to be delivered. Amazon, I think, is still delivering this evening.
I would imagine so, yeah.
And they promised they would have it here by Christmas Eve, so I'm waiting for it. We got a case of wine from my wife's nephew. He sent one really good bottle and two really crappy bottles. And so we're going to send them all back except for the good bottle. By the way, we opened the crappy bottles and tasted them now.
That's anybody who drops by here. We got some of this.
Yeah. That's true. We can give the crappy stuff to our company.
There you go.
Take it down to the beach and give it away to the bums. So poor Trump, they're just beating the crap out of him, and his numbers still go up. Go figure.
Yeah, well, the base loves the guy, but we'll see how the Iowa thing goes.
And did you see where Gavin Newsom said that he did not want to see Trump kicked off of the ballot in California? He said, "We decide things at the polls, not in the courts." Gavin Newsom.
Good for him.
Good for him. I guess he still wants to take Joe's place if Joe falls down and breaks his noggin, which he very well might do.
That second term. How old will he be at the end? 88?
Some ridiculous.
Something like that? I don't know. You're really, really old to be president.
It's not the numerical age, it's the physiologic age. And the guy's got such such a bad case of Parkinson's disease that he's not going to be able to do this much longer. You just can't. I mean, you can't, because Parkinson's is a progressive disease.
Yeah. So I
And
don't know. I don't know why he's decided to run. I really don't.
I think that he just has so much hubris, and he's so narcissistic. But you got to be narcissistic to be president. You have to be. I mean, you have to think that you're the best and that your stuff doesn't stink.
That's right.
And you got to get out of bed in the morning and say, nobody can do this job but me. And I think that's most of the presidents. Some are a little more vocal about it, like Trump. But you look at almost all the presidents, and they're all very.
They're all A personalities, all of them. Man.
Oh yeah, and you have to be a little sociopathic too. But
Yeah.
I loved Abraham Lincoln's sense of humor, and one of his generals was killed during a battle or a kidnapping or something during the Civil War, and so he tried to make light of it. He said, we're sorry to see the general go, but we really hated losing the horse.
He was a funny guy. I remember a story that Grant won some major victory along the Mississippi River somewhere, I think Vicksburg or something like that. Yeah. And Lincoln said, when he was told about it, they said, well, he sounds like a great general. He said, yeah, well, he drinks a lot. And they said, well, get a bottle of what he drinks and send it to everybody in my command.
That's right. Whatever he's drinking, I want
That's
everybody
right.
else.
Everybody gets a bottle. Lincoln had a hard time getting people to attack.
That reminds me, what time are we supposed to start drinking on Christmas Eve? I forgot.
What time is it?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world.
Exactly. Thank you, Jimmy.
Oh my God.
Doc, I'm looking at 1 minute, not less than 1 minute in the show. This one just went zipping right by today.
I know we had a lot of fun. I don't know if anybody else had fun, but we did.
That's right. Exactly. That's all that counts.
All right. So I'm at 727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. And on Restream, your name and my face keep flashing back and forth. So I'm going to have to come over there and figure out what the hell you've done with my Zoom and my Restream. I'm going to get it.
It's not me. I can't take any responsibility for that whatsoever. We got 28 seconds here. You want to give the phone number a couple more times?
727-384-6411, 727-384-6411. I want to wish everybody a really Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. Ken, you have a good one, buddy. Give your wife and your kids a hug and a kiss for me. And I'm out of here.
Right back at you, Doc. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you next week.
Next week. We'll be right back here.
Join Dr. Bill every Sunday morning at 9 for more insight, information, provocation, and fun. Dr. Bill Handelman practices in St. Petersburg, Florida at Bay Area Medical Can Care Clinic, 6399 38th Avenue North. For your convenience, telemedicine appointments are available. Call his office today at 727-384-6411. That's 727-384-6411. Or visit his website at cancareclinic.com.